morning, y'all. We got a good show today. And of course, I got the guests that I've been putting on the flies. We got, should I say the other name or the name everybody like on social media? Peaches?
You can you can call me Peaches or Ashley. It don't matter.
Peaches, Ashley. I know you guys out there probably watching and all already in the Kool-Aid right now. The who that, who that, who that, who that. We're going to go with Peaches for the show. How you doing this morning? Or this afternoon? You're on
I'm
the East Coast. Well,
yeah,
Eastern time zone. My bad.
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good this morning. How's the weather down there? I'm curious down there. Hey, she get her peaches down in Georgia. That's where she's from, y'all. Hey, how's the weather down there?
It's well, Georgia weather doesn't know what it wants to do, so it's kind of cool out, but it's actually a very nice day today. So
Okay, that's pretty cool. Cause here it's like in the 50s. The sun is shining. I guess that's the best we can get here. Is some shining sun, and I guess the weather decided to warm up at some point. So you know that topic about today: love or being in love. Everybody has a different definition, or is it the same, or it's not the same? First of all, what is your definition of love?
my definition of love is sacrificial. It's more so, you will do any and everything for a person that you love. Um, and that can even include putting your life on the line for that person.
Hmm,
So that's pretty
I got
much a small snippet of what love means to me.
you. I got you. So like, I tried to go. I ain't gonna lie. I was doing like an outline and everything for this show, and I'm like, I'm gonna go look up love, and you know what I'm saying. Everybody knows a tis feeling or a deep affection, you got for somebody else. But like,
Right.
I don't know, like, do people? So when do you like peak at your fullest form of love? Like, is that when you fall in love? Is there a difference
I think,
between love and being in love, or loving
oh
love?
yeah, it's definitely a difference between being in love and loving somebody because you love your kids. I think the biggest difference is the romanticized portion of love itself. When you're in love with someone, it's just, I guess some what can't be explained, but it's a different type of love than you would have for a family member or a friend, for
Mm.
sure. Um, I do think that being in love just means that regardless of what that person, and it could actually be, the same with just loving someone, but um you just love that person for them. You don't really have any expectations of them as far as anything that you are requiring in exchange for your love for that person.
That's pretty deep, y'all. Here, I love this topic because people got like different like opinions on this. Hey, Donna. Hey, Miss Cox, Jean Cox. Hey, hey. I'm sorry. I've seen the little comments right here. So, like, so when you like, how long does it take for a person to fall in love? Is this like is it a time period like for them to
I
fall in love?
I don't think so. I think that people fall in love at their own speed. For me personally, it takes a little time. Because there are certain things that have to, or I guess certain phases you have to go through, and certain things that you have to do in order to reassure me that I can always depend on you. And so that is a big um factor in how the process of me falling in love. And if you want me to be honest with you, I've probably only been in love maybe once in my life.
What?
um I've had puppy love because you think you love somebody
Yeah.
when you're a kid, and and it is a form of love. And it is a form of being in love, but you don't really know, because you haven't been through sacrifices with that person. You haven't been through, tests that both of you have to pass. And I always tell people all the time, if only one of you has to pass a test in this whole love thing, then that's not the person for you. Tests should be for both of you to pass. Both of you should be tackling it
What is
together.
this? What is this test though? Like, what is this test? So you thinking man getting tested and we don't even know it? What's going on?
Let me tell you, no, 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 no. What's funny is women get tested more often than men typically, because you ever hear a guy say, "Well, I just want to make sure you're loyal."
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
Well, I've had that. I've actually had that told to me. They want to, to test my loyalty, and I'm like, well, first and foremost, you can't test loyalty if you're not loyal yourself.
Mm.
Secondly, as far as any tests that are concerned with when it comes to a relationship, I just feel like if one of you has to pass that, it's going to be a fail every time. I feel like that, tests come when, you as a couple have to work together as a team to, get through certain things. And so when you try to test your mate, you basically set them up for failure every time.
Especially a test that you not knowing what's going on. Like I don't think
Right.
like do you like to be tested? Like
No, not at all.
I don't think I like that. I like to be like I like things genuine. I don't want to test. Like I think
Right.
that people actions show you what type of person they are, whether they're gonna be genuine, whether they're gonna be the type of person you love. Like we all have forced ourselves into love. And that's why I think the
Right.
two are different because you can love in which means you can care about somebody deeply. But like I think I had to write this down though, because this is the point. When you're being in love, you like desiring the happiness of your partner. That means
Right.
something. So with your partner being happy, like that matters. Same example. You had a bad day at work. Now, your bad day, I want you to smile and be happy. So when you love somebody, you take the extra measures to make them feel happy later, to sacrifice for all those bad things or whatever they dealt with earlier. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things of being in love, caring about your partner on that level. Now, however, broken people can't do that. I want to talk about broken people because you have men out here that they're like uh macho and they want to control women. And I see it a lot lately, not even just physical wise, but like mentally, they want to control
Mhm.
women to put them down. So that's not being in love, man. If you're out there and you control your woman, trying to tell her what to wear, what to do, that's not being in love. That's abuse. Jesus.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, even just caring about someone's well-being, period, is just human nature. I don't really think that you have to be in love with a person in order to care about their happiness. I Because just an example for myself, I care about a lot of people. I care about everybody that I come across. I do know that most of the time when I cross a person's path, it's possibly for a reason. I've had to basically show some men that you don't have you there's not a typically um well, what society deems as a requirement for a man to be loved. You can be loved unconditionally without, having to bring anything into the relationship. Now, granted, like we've had this conversation before, we definitely want, a man to be able to, sustain his own, be able to be stable on his own. Um, so that is very important when it comes to, being in love and dating and things like that. But it's one of those things where if my partner decide, has a bad day at work or something like that, I will try to make sure that, you know even if it's, something I can't necessarily fix, I'm going to sit down and say, hey, well, let's talk about it. Let's,
Right.
get out, maybe give a few hugs and kisses, in the process, kind of,
That's
you know
key. Hey,
yeah,
you
yeah.
talking now you talking the love language now. Because
Right.
especially if your love language is what's that? Physical touch, hugs and kisses. That's physical touch.
Yeah. Most men have physical touch as their love language, but I tell people all the time, like, I've had to really learn that from now on. I've had to tell people, just do all of them. Just do all of them, because at the end of the day, there are things that are like, quality time and acts of service are my strengths. Like that, those are the things that I can kind of, okay, I know that this person cares about me. But the thing of it is that we get so hung up on just those things that we're not really well rounded when it comes to a relationship. And I feel like it is very important that, you're able to show that person in many ways that you really care about them. And sometimes telling somebody's your love, someone your love language can also be a hindrance to actual progression of the relationship, because they could play on that
Yes.
just to get, so
Especially if you tell a
it,
guy.
right. Right. I mean, but you have some women out there that will play on it as well, because, say, yourself, a woman sees a nice looking, successful man, and she just wants that, she may do any and everything just to try to get that. And then it's like, but she doesn't want to maintain, typically you could tell people aren't real when they can't maintain who they are, like when they show you those people up front. They're representative is
See,
what I would
you
say.
said it, and we talked about it on your live on TikTok the other day. So the word settle, we like, okay, people represent, they can't keep up the act because people
Right.
act like Chris Charmer, she act like she's this and that. But it's an act. If it's genuine, you will see it consistently. It's an act that they
Right.
can't keep up. So what happened is, and I think we talked about this, is when you around a person like that and you love them, not fall in love, you love them, they show you their true colors. But you figure like we made this far, I love them. Let's force the issue now. And that's when we get to forcing
Right.
the issue with people because they show their true colors, but now it's like I love them. I'm not really digging that, but I'm gonna just go ahead and go with the flow. And the flow ain't what you want, you know.
Yeah, we do stay in relationships and situations longer than we should. I honestly, I used to be that person. I used to, try to see the good in every situation, even when someone would show me, hey, this is really who I am. But, I would always say, well, maybe this person can change, Um, now as you get older, you've gone through certain experiences, you tend to try, take people for who they are. I know for myself, the first sign of a red flag, I don't try to say, oh, it's pink. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I typically, address the issue.
Um,
And if that person isn't willing to make those adjustments, then I just say, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't for us. Like maybe we aren't as compatible as I thought, and sometimes we have to, be okay with that. A lot of times we try to force love from people because we just really want that person so badly. We will sit there and take and sacrifice our own happiness and needs just to accommodate. And I think that that's completely unfair, because no relationship should be one-sided. I know I've done it before where I would sacrifice things that I needed and things that I desired from my partner just to make them happy, and that was not doing any good for me.
that's great. So I'm gonna read some of these comments. We got Miss Cox said, let me put it up here on the thing. She said, don't test me, just let it flow and keep 100. Donna said, do it all. Now we got one person said that's what it is most of the times acting. People are like great, great actors and actresses and everything. One
Right.
person said he was a fixer like I was. So it's like you can't fix situations. Like I think sometimes when we get in that love situation, we try to fix it to where we want it. And that person just they was a good actor or actress. You know what I'm saying? You can't end up
Right.
fixing that. So it's like that's what the loyalty can. So you settle and you're like, maybe I can make this work. And I've done this before. I'm so very guilty of it. We just settle and you kind of go with the flow of things because maybe you don't want to start all over, or maybe like, well, maybe this person will change, whatever, or you stuck. You're not necessarily stuck. We just that's relationships. That's why relationships fail because of
Right.
settlement. Like you fell for somebody's act. People are good Oscar winners. Like we gotta get some people out here. We gotta give them Grammys because they act like the Prince trying to be like get your door. You know what I'm saying? Maybe feed you your
Right.
little ice cream or whatever, or do all this stuff. You like so like you be drawn in. And it's like ah ah.
You be like, oh my gosh, my Prince Charming. And then it's just like, after a while, you'll notice that they forget to open the door. And I'm like, are you
Yeah.
charming?
It turns from that to like in some situations turn to I can Tina. I can Tina. I'm like, Like what happened? Like it's
Right.
crazy. So
Yeah. It's funny because yeah, we tend to definitely, let me mute that. Um yeah, but we definitely tend to sacrifice our own happiness for others, and yeah, it's always a bad end of the deal, because again, you forget about yourself, and it's even, when it, and not to get off subject, but even when it comes to parenting, like I had to really realize that I have to actually take care of myself in order to be a good mother to my children.
right.
And that's a partnership. You have to be good to yourself in order to be a good partner to your partner. And I think we talked about that on my live before, that I always tell people, I'm looking at you and how you treat yourself, because if you treat yourself poorly, how can I expect you to treat me differently? If anything, I would hope that you would treat me better, but it's still a reflection. Your partner is a reflection of yourself, is an extension of you. So you don't want to be with someone that can, mistreat you, or like I said, they're mistreating themselves, not taking care of themselves, not, making sure that they're stable. Those are very important things when you're talking about being with someone.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So let me ask you. I got a question for you. Let me ask. So it's this thing in a conversation that happens quite often. So you spend time with a person, and some people say it's
Mhm.
too early to be in love with somebody, whether it's like 4 or 5 months. Let's say like 4 or 5 months, But here's my theory, and I'm gonna ask you for yours. If you spend a lot of time with somebody, it is possible that you can fall in love with them, or not fall, maybe not fall in love, but you can love them in those 4 or 5 months. That's if you spend a lot of time together. Now, some people start off friendship or relationships, start as friends, whatever. I don't know how they do it, but if you spend a lot of time in the day with each other and around each other, like in the first 4 months, you can spend time together where people spend like in a year span or maybe 8 month span. So it is possible for somebody to love somebody that early, pending the time being spent in the type of relationship. What do you think about that?
I mean, I agree. And like I said, there's no real time limit or minimum time frame where you fall in love. It's just a feeling. It's something that, like I said, when you've gone through certain things with a person, like, and I know a lot of times, like that's why I was saying, like, I hate when, you know, you have those people that try to pretend like, or try to get you to like them in order to get certain things from from that person, because you know time is more valuable than anything. And I tell people all the time, even as a woman, my time is more valuable than anything. You can spend my money, I can get that back, but my time I cannot get back. And so intentions in the first place, because people's feelings are very, important. You could do a lot of damage, spending all that time with that person completely devoting their energy, their time, and space to you, can really make them start falling, you know in love with you,
Yeah.
and it could just, and people don't realize, it's just based on who you are as a person, typically, when you're doing that. I tell people all the time, like, your presence is more important, so we don't have to like go spend money and do, certain things that require money. We could just be walking in the park talking, and that'll make me feel a stronger connection to you, because I'm like, dang, I'm sitting here talking to this
You hear that,
person.
ladies? Wait, I want to cut you off. You hear that, ladies? She can go in the park and have a walk and have a good conversation. She doesn't have to go to like the restaurant and have a conversation. Those are key things, and those type of women are missing. Like, let's go for a walk. Let's go enjoy this nice scenery and have a talk. Because here's the thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's a
Oh, you
preliminary stage that some people think you got to go out and take me out. But a woman first word, take me out, take me out. You want to date this? There's what you just said right there. There's a building right there. Like you sit, you walk, and you talk,
right,
you get to feel people out. You talk, and you can see if you can have a conversation with that person. You don't got to waste your time over there because you said time is more important than money. You can get money
right.
back. So here's the thing: you guys are walking, and you can fill him out. He might say some off the wall
Right.
shit like, I like Transformers posters on my wall. You don't want to date a motherfucker with Transformers posters on the wall. So that might be like your way out. Like, all right, we ain't gotta waste dinner time. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and like it's over. So I had
Right.
to cut you off next. You said that, and then somebody told me a while ago that you have to have like go out for dinner and take me out. It's the whole thing. Take me out. Take me out.
No, my thing is this: at the end of the day, the whole purpose of dating is to be in that person's presence. Because here's the thing: I can feed myself, and I will be perfectly content with sitting at a table by myself eating alone, versus me having to be incorporate someone else that I might not even like. I might can't stand your presence, but yet you're inviting me to dinner to be around you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
people have to realize that those types of connections are very important when you're talking about being in love and having a partner. Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna go, like, if you say, just an example, you decide, hey, we want to be together, long term. Y'all not out and about every day. Y'all gonna be around the house. Y'all gonna be, you know what I mean? You're gonna
Right.
be in places where you don't have to do an activity. And as long as I can stand your presence, like, that's important,
Ex-
especially when you're talking about being in love and loving someone. Um, because I just can't foresee, wanting to always do something, and then that's going to be our determining factor on whether or not we're in love or not. That's just it's a lot of wasted energy, a lot of wasted money. It's
Yes,
just
money. I'm gonna read this comment from Frank BJ Frank Freeman. He said that he got an answer. I got love for a lady, but haven't spent a lot of time with her. We haven't dated or are dating, but I support her and care about her well being. Hmm, pretty interesting. And then I'm gonna ask Frank, is that like y'all develop like a friendship or something like that? Because that's what it sounds like. I think we talked about that too. Like every woman, like not every woman, guys too. Like everyone, like date. I hate like dating. I don't hate the word, but I hate the word like dating. Like I'm like,
I
let's be
talking.
talking,
That's what I hate.
talking.
Dating, dating is normal for me. I hate talking. Like, I hate telling somebody, "Oh yeah, I talked to this guy," or I'm like, this. Whatever happened to dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife? Like, it was just that simple back, But now it's talking stage, dating exclusively stage, boyfriend, girlfriend. It's just like too much. Like, people are making it so complicated, and it really doesn't have to be that way.
It don't. But hey, my boy BJ's friendships are important. He also said go with the Thundercats guy, not the Transformers. Hey, Danny. Hey, no, we're not going to Ruth Chris. So that's the thing right there. I'm glad she said that. One of you said we are still going to Ruth Chris. No, we're not. You're gonna earn this damn Ruth Chris trip. Man. I'm not going to no expensive. No, it ain't got nothing to do with expensive restaurant. I'm the type person. We're
Right.
going to Starbucks. We're going on this walk that you was talking about. We're gonna walk to see is it worth my time, and she should be doing the same thing. I don't want to go out, have dinner, pay for this. And it's like I've done that before. Uh,
You said something that a lot of people probably missed, but she should be doing the same thing as you are, trying to make sure it's worth it. Like, I tell people all the time, just because you may think that I may be the perfect woman for you, you may not be the perfect man for me. You might not, and I'm not saying in the sense of someone has to be perfect, just saying what I'm looking for in my next partner. And you know, I tell people all the time, it cannot be one-sided. It just can't. It uh, a lot of times, that again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier about, sometimes we tend to sacrifice our own needs, our own happiness, just to make someone else happy.
happy.
It's not fair. There are things that you may be looking for in a person that, hey, this person does have these nice qualities, but hey, these are some non-negotiables I can't really get with. Like I tell people all the time, you have to go into dating knowing what you want. You have to, because you tend to waste less time when you know what you want.
Yeah, and my people just going there like free for all. Like it's like no direction. People just like going
Right.
there and just like just all in. Like, okay, I'm just going in and see what happens. No, what do you
No.
want?
No. And that's the and that's the big problem that I've encountered with dating some men. They say they want one thing, but then I really think they don't know, because of the simple fact that you get exactly, I hear it all the time, oh, I don't want a woman that's going to depend on me for everything, for them, for my money. I don't want a woman that's going to just things like that,
Right.
oh, we got to go out all the time. Okay, well, now you have that woman. Now what you gonna do with it? And then it's just like, you know what? I don't think this is working out. And it's like, okay.
I used to Miss Cox, she said, and never lower your standards for anyone because you're lonely or bored. Oh, she hit it right in the dot. She hit it right in the dot.
Yeah.
Right in the dot. Never lower your standards.
No, loneliness gets a lot of people in trouble. Like, it gets a lot of people in trouble. And I've been there before. Like I said, with anybody, we've all been there. Where we get so lonely that we tend to take anything, that we can get, which is probably why I ended up in the marriages that I did. But that's another subject. Now that I know who I am, and know my worth, and know what I emotionally contribute to a relationship, what I tangibly contribute to a relationship, I don't have to accept what I'm not willing to compromise on. And like I said, those non-negotiables are very important, because and I've been through therapy. And it's very important that some people find a means to educate themselves on themselves. You need to find out who you are first before you try to go out and date. um but I say that because I was given the assignment to list non-negotiables. And if, even though that person may have every single quality you're looking for characteristic wise in your next partner, if they have one non-negotiable, it won't work, because that's a thing that you cannot compromise on.
Right.
And a lot of times we tend to do that because we love someone so much that we're just willing to say, you know what, I know this is not something I typically would want to, deal with, but I'm gonna deal with it
Anyway.
anyway because I love this person.
But so when you love, why you think I know people are connected. When in a relationship, you get somewhat connected, especially when you settle and you know it's not working. But we have a tendency to stay in the long haul, and typically because of kids. When is
Right.
enough is enough? And I know you experienced, I experienced. When is enough?
I think it became too expensive when um I became miserable. Like, it was one thing to sacrifice, for the children, for the sake of the kids. And I'm like, you know what? Um, the kids need their dad, and they need him here with them. But I had to actually take a step back and look at myself, and how my kids would come to me and say, well, mommy, why are you so sad? Children should not see that. You know what I mean? Children should see their parents being loved properly. And honestly, I can truly say that it was probably the best decision we made,
Right.
because my middle son sees that his dad has moved on, and he has a girlfriend and things like that. So maybe I wasn't even loving him properly. I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't really say, because he didn't really give me that information. But I can say for certain that I was not loved properly. And my son, they, or all my boys, actually see the difference. The house energy changes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, the kids are very happy. Do they want me to have a boyfriend? Yeah. My middle son always says he wants to help me find a boyfriend, and we get married. It's like, whoa, 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 kid, whoa, 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 let's back up. So, but it's very important that your children see that. And I think that was where I had to come to grips and say the price was way too high, because my children started seeing me miserable and unhappy, and actually not having a voice. There were things that I knew was not proper for my children to witness, but yet I didn't say anything because I wanted to make sure that he was happy instead of me.
Right. So I'm gonna read Frank put up a comment right here. He put, I think some women should focus on what he doesn't have versus see the things he does have. I see it non-negotiable at are very important. And I was gonna actually I'm gonna respond to that first. And that's I think he said I think he should focus some women should focus on what he doesn't have versus the things he does have. What do you think about that comment? I'm trying to like process that right now.
Um, maybe I mean, unless it's like, is he saying like tangible things or intangible?
That's
Like,
what
you know,
yeah.
because tangible things are like, oh, he has a house, he has a car, he has this, he has that. Intangible things are, is he supportive? Is he,
Yeah.
like that. So I would say, that's a good point to focus on the things that they don't have, but at the same token, it's almost like, you're looking for failure if you do that.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't suggest that being necessarily the thing that you look for when you're talking about being with someone. I will say that, you need to pay attention. I always tell people this: words matching, well, your actions matching your words, and they being consistent. They have to have all three, otherwise it's a lie.
Right.
um because if you're saying things and not following through, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if consistent, then that's not who you really are. So I think those three things are very important when they align, when you're talking about being with someone. So um and again, like I said, we all have other, physical things that we're looking for, when it comes to our partner, because those are important too. My therapist also told me, like, hey, I put on there, this person has to be attractive. I have to be attracted to this person. Not saying that everybody else has to think that they're the most beautiful man in the world, but as long as I'm attracted to him, that's all that matters. And he was saying that that has to be number one, because a lot of people will, especially women, we tend to, oh, well, we'll just look at the personality and not worry about the physical part of it all.
You know
And
the personality matters? Like, is that like the second?
no, no, what he's saying is the personality matters, but it should be the set. Because here's the thing: we're all visual creatures.
Right. True.
The first thing you look at is if that person is attractive to you. That's the first thing. Because someone that, and everybody's standard of attraction is different. Like, you may think somebody doesn't look as good, but the next person might think they are the finest thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's very important for you to be physically attracted to that person, and then once you have that physical attraction, then you can start digging deeper into their personality and who they are and things like that.
But that can make them
um
ugly. Like now, I talked about this in the last show we did in wine therapy. That personality, right? So you could be attracted, right? But
mhm.
that personality can bring that attraction you have to ugliness. Like,
All Yeah, trust me, I know. Cause like I tell people all the time, like, it's so funny because I've had some insecure guys, see my ex, and they're just like, how are you not, still intimate with this guy? He, not be gay or anything, but he's, and I'm like, okay, he may look good, but his personality to me
yeah, you ain't vibing. You want to be no boring person.
and so that makes a person unattractive to you. You can say, oh yeah, they're a nice looking person, but I don't want to be romantically involved with that person. So that definitely plays a role in it.
I'm gonna put up this by Miss Cox. She said, having a peace of mind is better than just having a peace of man and woman any day. And Frank, he actually clarified his comment. He said they focusing on things he doesn't have and hope he changes, and the hope prolongs. And yes, it's looking at failure. You know what? I gotta respond to Frank. I wrote something down, and it's about being in love. I'm gonna say this to
Mhm.
women. I'm gonna say this to men. If you love somebody, you accept them for who they are. You're not trying to change them. Once you're trying to change a person, you are not in love with who they are. If you're trying to change, I'm gonna take you for example. I dated a woman. I'm not a person to read the damn Wall Street. I'm not a person to go read this like big ass book. I read the sports section of the Sun Times, ESPN. I read stuff that's interests me, but I'm not a person to like, yeah, I read this book. I'm gonna call you Ashley. I read this book. What you think about this book? Hell no, that ain't me. So I had this one, right? She's like, you know what? You should try reading the Wall Street Journal. I don't give a fuck about the Wall Street Journal. What the hell is Wall Street? Like, I want to read that. Oh, you need to do this. So at this time, because I'm outspoken and more sarcastic, I like if I go places and I said a joke out in public and everybody laughs, she's like so embarrassed. She's like, well, this is me. Everybody's laughing besides you. So I'm not gonna go home and read the
Right.
fucking Wall Street Journal. I'm not gonna read this little big thick ass book that's gonna get boring. We're not gonna have book sessions, because I don't give me an interesting book to read, I may read it. But that's what she wanted me to
Right.
be, this guy that like Wall Street, well, suit and tie, carry a briefcase. That ain't me. I ain't doing that damn thing. So I knew then she wasn't in love with me. It's like she wanted me to be something, like mold her. Like I heard her make a comment before. I created. She's the word created. Like I'm a damn like Sims or something. Like you create me. Like I'm like, wait, hold on. You made me. How did you make me? Like, and I heard that from my
Right.
ex-wife too. Oh, I made him like that. No, but boo boo. My good credit score was a result of you because I had to put forth my effort to make myself better, not
Right.
you. You can't control me. This is not PlayStation or Xbox. Like, it's crazy. Like
Right.
that,
Yeah, it's that trying to mold someone into something that they're not. Like and you know what, I've encountered this a lot too, where I would accept people for exactly who they were, but when it came to me, they would nitpick little things about me that they didn't like, and I'm like, well, why are you with me? If you're if you don't like these things, why are you with me? Because this is setting yourself and myself up for failure if this is not something that you can deal with or that you don't want. And it could be something so simple, as to we always, I think everybody does this. Like if you're having a conversation, you may interrupt someone, yeah, and it's harmless typically. But I think this person like really took it like
right.
it's just way out of line, and I'm just like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Other than that, what do you want me to do to try to fix it? And like I said, you don't ever want to change someone into something that you want them to be. You either accept them for who they are and love them for them, or you just move on to a person that you can love for them. Or get what you're looking for. That's why I say it's very important to know what you're looking for when you're going into the dating world, because you don't ever want to get caught up in a situation where you feel like you have to change someone to meet your needs.
Right. And that's what happens. People are like, okay, he's this, but I can make him into this. No, this is not a creation, fellas. It's not a creation. What you can do is make someone better. They can feed off your energy
Right.
together as you work as a team. People are too busy like trying to manually control others. Now I see it happen more with man, and men sometimes I ain't gonna lie. I've seen a lot because of the career I work. Men are so damn controlling, and some women are too, but more men like so jealous. Like here it is, men. A good man doesn't have to like be hovering around this woman and seeing what she's doing and what's on social media and whatnot, or whatever. Because if you have that type of connection, that communication, your woman ain't going nowhere. So, and what
Right.
makes your woman not go nowhere is when you trust her. When you show
Right.
the insecurities all the time, it drives a person nuts for this woman.
I can't do insecurities, because here's the thing, like especially when it comes to good looking people. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not trying to say this in a cocky way. It's more so humble. I know that I'm not the finest thing in the world, but I know I look good as well. And it's one of those things where I've had to encounter, even in the dating world, where guys will, oh, you notice this guy looking at you. I'm like, no, because I'm focused on you. Like, why are you worried about these other? If anything, you should be happy that, hey, these guys are checking out my girl. I must admit, type of thing. But it's a lot of insecure people out there that tend to do that. And even when it comes to like, I heard something yesterday about, or I saw it on TikTok, about this guy saying that, he wanted to go out with his girlfriend, and she was dressing like kind of provocatively, or whatnot. And she kind of attacked him because she was like, "You're being very insecure, blase blase." But like one of the gentlemen said, you knew we are in the era of social media. You know what she typically looks like when she goes out. So if you already knew that she dressed a certain way before you got with her, why are you trying to change her now? If that messes with your self-esteem, get with someone that your self-esteem can handle, instead of trying to change someone, for or control that person. So yeah. Oh, it's like I can't hear you. It's like a static.
Now, all right.
Perfect. Like I
Okay. Yeah, I had man. I always give out shouts to Best Buy, but I swear I went to replace this mic, and they just keep fucking me up. I just taking this shit back. This ain't working. But well, I wanted to point out something too. You point about so dress code going out. So
Mhm.
some guys they like to control what like women dress in when they go out, whether it's in leggings or well, no, I'm a leggings person. I'm sorry, I'm being biased now, but like so they want to control like what they want to wear. Like don't wear that. And me, let me tell you something. Like you said, men, the insecure ones, they go out and they look at who's looking at your woman. Like who the hell cares? That's a good thing they're looking at your woman because that means that woman is your prized possession. She's on display. I don't care. Like, hey, wear my woman, wear your V-neck shirt. I love it. Wear the V-neck shirt you want to wear it. You know what I'm saying? You want to show a little cleavage, whatever. Wear the leggings because I support it because I'm gonna look. They can look, but they ain't gonna touch. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look.
Right.
So when you say that's like some men like, oh, I don't want a man looking. It's like that's the insecurities, and when women see that, I see it so often. They have to take a stand and like move away from that situation. Just move completely away.
Right. And that's it's the beginning stages of being a controlling partner, because I'm not gonna ever dictate to my partner, like even when it comes to men and the sweatpants season. I'm not gonna ever like tell you can't wear, certain things or whatever. Because at the end of the day, like I said, um, it has more to deal with you and your security when it comes to your relationship. And you have to actually be secure in knowing, hey, you know what? My person looks good. They're a representation of me. I ain't gotta worry about them.
Right. So Frank said there is a respectable attire you wear with your partner. Now, Frank, I want to tell Frank right now, I don't like. There's a respectable. I ain't saying going there just like the Players Club, like you finna make the money.
Well, it depends on the place, though. That's the thing. It also depends on the place, because, of course, if you're going to like a sit down restaurant, you're not gonna dress like you're going to the club. But if we're going to a lounge, I'm gonna dress like I'm going to a lounge. I'm going to dress for that appropriateness.
Right.
Now, if you can't handle that as a person yourself, if you have certain standards and requirements as it relates to how you want your partner to be dressed when you go out, you should be with a person that does that instead of trying to change someone that already dresses a certain way.
Right. Yeah. Just
And that's the biggest thing that I was saying, and it even just goes as far as how people love, and how people, are as people in general when it comes to, being in love and loving someone. You again have to accept that person for who they are. If not, try to find a person that meets your expectations. You can't change someone just because you want that person so badly. You would prefer them just accommodating you and your needs. No, you got to find what better suits you and what you have going on in your lifestyle.
hey, so with the dress code, because I made an asterisk by it to the dress code. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just I don't know if you watch any other shows. I'm just a leggings guy. Like leggings are good for all occasions. Birthday parties, going to a family get-together, club outings, leggings, leggings, leggings. You want me to take you shopping or you going to the next restaurant? You might as well ask for some leggings. I'm, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna probably say yes regardless, but you get a super yes. Like, you wearing that? Okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just my little thing I like, you know what I'm saying? But you know, oh man, ain't nothing like Ashley said. Ashley Davis, he needs to find a buttery soft leggings, and I want to know what a buttery soft leggings. I really don't know what's the difference. Like,
Maybe that's like more like the stocking kind, maybe. Is
uh,
that like what that is?
I wait on
I don't
I
know.
wait on how to answer that. And then if, hey, even Frank
I
agrees,
don't
leggings are
know.
great. Frank agreed with me. Leggings are great. They're so awesome. I love those. Like, I swear, like I could like a woman should have like just a section of closet with just leggings of like a total, or a man should contribute to that if she don't like. It's like like here's the thing. This is weird. So I'm gonna say this. So, you can't date me if you don't wear leggings. I love leggings. I need to see it. I don't want to see jeans and jogging
Love this.
pants. I don't. But I see what people saying. Like, you got to be respectful of certain occasions, for like the dress codes or whatnot. Though, but the thing is,
Right.
even so, like going back to like love and being in love. When you in love, it's like you feel you feel motivated to be a better person when you in love with the person. You
Right.
motivate because they motivate you, and you get that same reflection on them. They make you better. The thing is like in relationships, we being in relationships and the relationships don't really go nowhere. We know it, but we like almost
Still
stay in it.
stay.
But it's like you said, in your situation, you know what I'm saying? You was becoming like it wasn't a better you in your last situation, like you was like, ugh. And when you get to that point where it's like I don't want to do this, like this ain't for me, your spirits is low. When you in love,
Right.
your spirits are lifted.
It's all.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. And like I said, and again, I will keep reiterating this forever and ever, but it definitely has to be both ways. Like, a lot of times we get so consumed on ourselves. And I know for people like myself who have big hearts, we get so consumed with the other person that we forget about ourselves a lot. And we are very important when it comes to that relationship and that partnership. Um, and so, like I said, it just, you have to make sure that whatever that person brings, as far as emotional wise, things that you're looking for, you have to make sure that that aligns with your lifestyle, and aligns with how you want to feel emotionally. That person has to build you up. If they're just a person that always wants to take, 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 and never reciprocate that energy, then you have to really consider, is this the right person for me? Again, you can address the issue, and sometimes people will change for maybe a couple weeks or so. But
after you
you
leave,
know, right, right. Right. And and that's the funny part. Like they wait until they don't have you anymore to finally just say, you know what, I'm gonna do right. But at that point, your love is already gone, and you're, yeah, I mean, I won't say gone. I'll just say it's a different type of love. You become where you were in love to only just loving
Loving.
that person.
Right. Exactly. And that's key right there. When a person, like, communication is key. So it always gets to a point they recognize when you leave, and that's always the case when a person don't value communication. I think communication solves like almost majority of your problems in your relationship. Communication. Can you sit and talk? Like, I know some situations where, some women want to go to counseling, and a man's like, I'm not going to counseling, I don't believe in that, I don't do this. Like, sometimes even if you don't, you have to sit and you have to compromise. It's a key word, the other C word, communication and compromise. You got to compromise because that people are different. Like, I couldn't be with somebody that's the same as me, the same exact. I got to show somebody, we be somebody that give me a variety of something else. So they might like something I'm not used to or not exposed to. So there's the compromise word. You know what I'm saying? You got to just compromise, and, like, how many people know compromise? Some people are selfish nowadays, especially today's world.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people are. Like I said, they tend to do certain things for personal gain. Typically, it's not because you genuinely care about that person's well being. Typically, and that's the the part that I'm finding more difficult to find when it comes to dating. And it's always like it's almost as if a person isn't genuine anymore. It's like, I'm gonna do this for you and support you in this way because I want something from you. I want you. I want to try to gain something from you. It's not just a genuine act of kindness. And I, for one, appreciate genuine acts of kindness over an ulterior motive any day, because that's when you have the organic connection. That's when you can say, you know what, this person expected absolutely nothing from me, didn't expect me to say, okay, I'll finally date you, or I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have those people that's why I tell people, if you got to tell me you're a nice guy, you're probably not a nice guy. Because if you're going to just befriend me and support me in hopes that maybe one day I'll change my mind and say, you know what, let me date this person, then your intentions were never pure in the first place.
Exactly, and that it goes vice versa too for some women, because some women, I told you about the one that tried to sugar mama me, and I ain't want to be sugar mama. I ain't quit my job, lady. Like, try to sugar mama me, like, oh, you should quit your job, you should do this, you should do that, whatever. That's control. Like, no, we're not about to do that. Like, no, we're not doing that. It's crazy. Like, and it's more, you know what? And so another thing I think we discussed too on the live. So one thing, ladies and men gotta watch this too, more so ladies. People, the way they communicate. So a person with money, let's do the person's wealthy or just better off. A person will use money as a form of communication and won't show you their personality. So, like, so for example, somebody drive a Maserati or some other nice car, they get out. You be like, okay, Maserati, businessman, Fortune 500, whatever the hell he does. But when you talk to him or you talk to her, their conversation is like so like arrogant, like, ugh.
I hate that cockiness. I will tell people all the time, if you're gonna be like overly cocky, it's probably not a good fit for me, because although again, I know I might look good, I also am humble enough to know that there's somebody out there that offers something better. And I always tell people all the time, like, you can't sit here and be cocky and expect somebody to want to be around someone that always thinks, oh my God, I'm the best thing since sliced bread, nobody matches up with me. It's like, you have flaws too. Like, you can't just sit here and think that you're God's gift to win. Oh my God, I hate those complexes.
Yes,
um think, oh my God, I'm God's gift to women, and you'll never find anyone better than me. Oh well, the point is not to find someone like you in the first place. So,
exactly. It's to find what you want. Ms. Cox said, people love to take and not give. It needs to be 100 on both sides. That's true. And Ashley, Miss Davis, she says people need to respect the other person's love languages and boundaries too. If I say I want to take it slow and build a foundation,
Let's talk about it so we get a clear understanding. Some people don't get it. Hmm.
Yeah. Boundaries are very important. Very important. I had to really learn to start telling people no. And that's probably been the toughest thing for me. Boundaries are very important when you're talking about being in love with somebody. They have to be able to respect that. If they don't respect you in those, like I'm gonna tell you, so badly. It's so bad that people disrespect your boundaries so much so that they think that money entitles them to something as it relates to you. When I went out with this one guy, he asked me, about touching my behind, and I was like, no, you're not going to touch my behind. But I was like, I appreciate you asking, because most people would have just done it. You know what I mean? So that was the only reason why I was like, okay, well, maybe he was just, but he was talking about, so he was like, can I give you a hug? Is it okay to give you a hug? I was like, yeah, that's fine. It's okay to give me a hug. Can I get a kiss? I'm like, well, I'll kiss you on the cheek, but that's about as far as I'll go. And then he asked me about the whole butt thing, and I was like, absolutely not. So he was like, well, I thought I'd ask or whatever. So, but the problem I had with him was when we first met, it was like, oh, can I get a hug? And I'm like, yeah, sure, you can get a hug. And so he was like, oh, I just have to do it. And he touched my ass. And at that point, that set the tone for the. I was like, you know what? No, thank you. I'm good, sir. I don't want this.
Oh
Is
shit! What the fuck kind of freak shit is this?
what the cat? What little boys do that shit? Like they sneak feels from women. Like, and I'm like, and then I had to explain to him too. I said, I believe that you think because you have money that you have been so, and you so accustomed to those type of women that you can give them a few bucks and they do whatever you tell them, or they do whatever you want them to do. And I said, I'm not that person. I have my own stuff established, so I don't need your money. I'm trying to see who you are as a person, and you've just shown me that. So no, thank you. I think I'm gonna part ways here. And he just still at this point, like I think he's still processing it, because even like, he was like, he had to go through therapy, and he was like, yeah, you kind of had a point. I'm like, yeah, you need.
I can't believe that he asked that question. That is so kindergarten. Oh my gosh, it is so nice. Can I touch it, please? Let me. Can I please?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And then it was like, even in his mind, he thought that it was nothing wrong with it, because he was like, oh, you're just gonna toss out the date, or toss out the fact that, or not even want to proceed with dating, all because I touched your butt. And I'm like,
That's huge.
it was a boundary that you crossed. For one, you lack the respect of my boundaries saying no. You know what I mean? And so it's just funny that, people really are out here thinking that they can buy people, and it's everything is transactional. That's why I always tell people I can feed myself. What we need to be in each other's presence. I need to see how you are as a person. It goes beyond just food.
It's go back to that walk. You had that walk with people, had that walk and have a talk. You talk with them for about like 30 minutes, maybe as long as you can. You gotta. It's an interview process pretty much, and you have to do it today because there's some guys are serial killers. Some women come up missing. You have to have that initial conversation. So I actually am a big fan of that. Somebody told me because I take a woman on the first date to Starbucks, and somebody told me like, oh, that's not like this. It is. Starbucks is in public. If you're crazy,
Her,
you could be left at Starbucks. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's what women should take the guy. Ask the guy to Starbucks, had a conversation, and then fill him out. You know what I'm saying? Ask the questions, and it's crazy. Hey, so we running out of time, and I was just about to
Okay.
continue this conversation. I just realized like, oh, we only got like a few minutes left. So I know you got to come back. You had to come
Well,
back. You had to come back to the show because we got so much more to talk about. I didn't even get to the next page on my outline yet. You know what I'm saying? So we can do like a little part two or something. But I gotta compliment you on that background again. That background is dope.
thank
Hey
you.
man,
Thank you.
she
Made it
created it
my
herself, man. So I'm not trying to like be like your hype person, whatever. But she's single and creative, man. They about to pull their Scooby guy again for the jump in the inbox like.
No.
Hey, I thank you for coming out, being on the show, whatever. We're gonna set another date so we can do this again. And make things more permanent, whatever. I'm not gonna reveal to you the other stuff you told me yet. I'm gonna wait for you to get ready and talk about that. So, hey,
Right.
thank y'all for tuning in. This is Light Brown Baby. This is Peaches Down in Georgia. Oh yeah, y'all take it easy. Enjoy your weekend.